welcome back to my channel. This is Jellybean. I'm Alita. These are my books. And today is day 15 of Bookmas. Yesterday we talked about specific things in books that if that thing is in a book, I'm going to love that book. And I told you I'm going to test that theory in 2022. Specific things I hate in books. So let's get into it. This is literally just a list of things that I think I hate in books. The first thing is I hate fiction that follows famous characters. I don't know why, and something that I think is completely weird is that I love nonfiction written by a celebrity or celebrities, especially like comedians and actresses. I do not understand that one myself. Could not explain it to you. The next thing that I hate in books, this thing is when authors use death of a character as a plot device to keep the plot going, but they don't acknowledge the death. It's just this one quick little sentence, this person died, but the rest of the characters just go on with their life. Like, monumental thing did not just happen. Someone did not just commit suicide. Someone did not just die. It's just like, oh yeah, one little tiny sentence is all that they get. And it just makes me so mad. There's one book in particular that deals with mental health, and they're in this group home for their mental health, and there are some who have already tried to commit suicide. It didn't work, and they are getting help for that. So in one little tiny, like, 5 words, you get this person was not the main character, but she gets this 5 little words. Oh, well, the night before she died, pretty much. And that she succeeded in committing suicide, and there was no conversation about it. There was nothing even acknowledging that that person was no longer with us, that they... It made me so mad. It is going to be on my list of worst books of the year. I just think, in real life, if someone died, it would be a big thing. It wouldn't be like, oh, well, she's dead, let's move on. No. No, 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 no. Do not do that to me in books. Especially books that are talking about mental health. Especially books that are supposed to be hard-hitting, and that book, I read it in January, and I'm still fuming about it. Okay, the next thing that I hate in books is not something that makes me furious like that. It's just something that I've realized I don't like. This is specific for thrillers, but I absolutely hate inheritance thrillers. And I know that that's something that a lot of people really, really love, but for me, I cannot stand it. So there's like the Inheritance Games, the Death of Mrs. Westaway, The Family Upstairs, and I'm sure that there's more. But those type of inheritance thrillers just do absolutely nothing for me. Which kind of brings me to the next thing in books that I hate, which is rich people problems. So I'm assuming that I don't like inheritance thrillers because I hate worrying about rich people drama or rich people problems. Like, I really just don't care. And most of the books that have these rich characters, they're snobs. I'm sorry, but I hate reading about snobby rich people. And I just really don't care. Like, Crazy Rich Asians, hated that book. And that's so sad because it was on my radar for like a year, and then I finally let myself buy it, and I was so disappointed with it. Kind of along the same lines as Rich People Problems, I've read a few contemporaries where the main character wins the lottery and becomes rich. Yeah, I hate those too. So I think they're all kind of in the same vein, like Rich People Problems and inheritance thrillers and winning the lottery. Like, I read Lucky in Love by Casey West. She wins the lottery and I don't care. There's Windfall by Jennifer Smith. She wins the lottery and I don't care. I hate books set during war, and I'm pretty sure that's why I never pick up historical fiction, because I know that a lot of historical fiction is based during war. I only have one example because I really try to stay away from it, but All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I know it's raved about and that it's beautifully written and the story was good, according to a lot of people. I found it to be beautifully written, boring, and I think that I don't want to get stuck in this historical fiction book that is set around war because I'm an unfeeling monster who just doesn't, I just don't like it, okay? I don't like books set during war. And yeah, that doesn't surprise me because I don't like watching war movies or anything like that. That I have no interest in it. I love history, but I hate learning about war. I think that it like hurts me to think about war because there have been so many of them and so many people lost, and I mean we're still in war, and I just want the world to change, and I don't know, I don't like learning. I don't like reading about wars. Number 5. I hate books in which there's cheating and nothing is learned from the cheating. They just go on their way with life and keep repeating the same cheating, the same mistakes. But more than that, like, I think I hate cheating when it's like the main character or the person cheating doesn't learn from it. They just continue to do it, and it's not really, it's a big thing that they did, but no one ever brings it up again. Like, to me, it doesn't seem realistic. If my husband or I cheated on each other, that would be, well, I mean, it would be the end of our marriage, but also it would be like something that we would fight about a lot. It wouldn't just be kind of like, yeah, okay, you cheated, whatever. And I don't learn my lesson. The main character doesn't learn my lesson. No. That just doesn't work for me. Okay, it's 99 Days by Katie Katogno. It's actually a series. I did not read the second book because I hated her. I hated the main character. She doesn't learn anything from cheating. And, like, I get that cheating happens in real life. People make mistakes. Things like that. That is something that I would never put up with. I mean, I'm about to go off on a tangent here, so I'm going to try and stop before I do. I just hate when people cheat and they don't learn anything from it. It just bothers me that it's never brought up again and they don't learn, they just keep doing it. No, number 6, I think, is detective points of view. This one actually really surprises me because I tend to look for detective POVs in TV shows and in movies. I love that. And even when I used to play video games, there were a couple games where I was the detective trying to piece everything together, and I love that. I live for that. But in books, it doesn't work. I think my theory is that in books, it's so dry. It's just so cut and dry, and like the detectives that I've read from previously have no personality, and it's just, okay, these are the facts, that's it, we're done. No, it's just very cut, dry, we're done. And very no personality. But in my movies, especially my TV shows, I love the detective's point of view because their personality shines through. You also get a bit of their personal life. One of my favorite shows of all time is Law and Order SVU, and Olivia Benson has been there since the very beginning. She was like my idol as a kid. I wanted to be her because she is such a badass. And she is a detective. And as the series goes, I get to know her more personally, just as much as her work life. And I absolutely adore that. There are some, like the first 48. I like those too, because you can kind of see their personalities. Sometimes it's more about the case, I'm not going to lie, because it's based on true stories. So it is a lot about the crime and the facts of the crime itself, but you also get the detectives bonding, and you kind of get their take on things. The next one that I hate is Marriage of Convenience. So I've only read a couple of books that have this trope in it, but I hate it. I don't know what else to say. I just don't like the Marriage of Convenience. I've read one in which they get married so that he can have a green card and he can stay in the United States. And yeah, I don't know. The Marriage of Conveniences are just so boring to me. The next one is political books. I don't really like politics in real life. So I really hate books that have political undertone or that are very political in tone. I just can't do it. This last thing that I hate in books is when I feel betrayed at the end of a book. Like, I feel personally attacked. So, I'm not talking about your twisted endings like Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane, Little Monsters by Kara Thomas, or I Killed Zoe Sopranos by Kit Frick. Those have twisted endings, and I love them. What I'm talking about is books in which you go in thinking it's one thing, and you are enjoying this story as it's being told to you, as this one thing is happening, and you're following the storyline, and it works, and you're enjoying every bit of it. But then this big thing happens, like, boosh, explosion. huge, but it changes the whole book. And you were following the storyline, it was going like this, and now it's kind of like just going and like, yeah. I am going to give you examples, so if you've read these, then you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't read these, then I probably sound super crazy to you right now. But I don't know how else to explain it other than books I've read in which I felt. So there's Life of Pi, Home Before Dark, and I know it happens in a, but those are the two that first come to my mind. Those are the really specific things in books that I personally hate. Let me know in the comments below if there's any specific things in books that you hate so I don't feel so crazy. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my